What up, folks? I think we are live. You know, I'm going to always wait and make sure that we are live, but I think we're live. And it's football time. Yeah, here we go. We live. We are live. So welcome, guys. You're going to see me looking to my left, your right, I guess. Still in my wife's office. But as you can see, I got the background behind me tonight. But yeah, still dealing with the wife's office. I'll be back in the normal location next week, so that's why the camera and stuff looks a little off. I'm actually using the built-in camera on my MacBook, which actually is looks like it's better than what my what do you call it webcam was. At least until I probably will upgrade. I might upgrade to the Elgato one. I use a real camera normally, but I just didn't want to do that whole setup tonight. But anyway, guys, welcome to the latest episode of the Sim Standard Podcast with myself and Smitty, AzureEffect, and Spirit. Football is back, so you guys know we're probably going to dibble and dabble in that a little bit. You're probably hearing the game in the background, but hey, y'all are cool with that, right? But of course, the main topics of the night, what we're really going to cover is the debacle, I like to call it. Good morning, Madden. We'll talk about Clint's comments and maybe, and I know Smitty mentioned this earlier, and I'll pull it up. Maybe we'll just play that segment. It was only about 9 minutes or so. Maybe we'll just play that and allow some of you guys to hear it and see it in real time. And then we will reflect on that. Talk a little bit about NBA 2K, with it being on the eve of that game. And that's about all we got for you. But before we jump into it, Smitty, anything you want to get into before the original topics? How was your week? All of that good stuff.
Man, I mean, I did not know that. Okay, I'm sorry. I had a good week. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm just bugging because of what I just saw. Spider-Man 2. But I had a good week. Family's been safe and secure. Everything's been good with us. We've been watching, football season is upon us. And see, that's, something Sim. I know I'm never have been following college football. I never really have cared to. I didn't even know that the kickoff weekend was the last weekend. I mean, I've seen people talk about it on Facebook and post scores and all that stuff and everything and chat about it, but I never really have been one to really care about football. I mean, about college football like that. I think I need to kind of start taking more of a vested interest into college football, so at least I have somewhat of an idea about some players or teams. But usually on Saturdays, that's usually, we're doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm not necessarily at home to really check out games like that. But I do want to try and catch some of the games and watch some games this year, more games than I typically would, instead of just marquee matchups. Just see what guys are able to do. You know what I'm saying? And but Lions are getting ready to play. Man, what's my man's name? Golly, I can't even think of his name right now. Our guy that we have on the line, not Sewell. Sewell may have to play out of position this week. We cut one guy that we had on our D line that was part of our O line. Wasn't exactly the best, but still we cut him, and now we got to shift players around. Use guys. There it is. Tyrell Crosby, I think his name was. He was part of the offensive line, our offensive line core. He did a decent job for us. He wasn't great, but he was very serviceable. And now we let him go. So I think it's Taylor Decker. He's injured. Yeah, that's his name, Taylor Decker. He's injured. So he's not going to be able to play. So that's why Sewell's going to have to play out of position potentially. He's going to have to play out of position, and then we're going to have another rotational guy take the spot. But I mean, people are trying to make it a big deal. Once again, we are in rebuild mode to the fullest. So it's like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. We are not going to be that good of a team for a minute. It's going to take us a moment before we can actually come up. Like I said, minimum. I know some people want to be very optimistic and think that it's going to be like 2 years, 3 years. We're going to be very competitive, but who knows, man? Who knows? I mean, we have a good staff together. Don't get me wrong. We do have a good staff together, but we don't know for sure what's going to end up happening with it. So we just got to wait and see. At the end of the day, as you hear my son coming in here, and he's wide awake, so he's going to be coming up.
Who y'all play this week? Who y'all got?
We play the Niners.
The Niners, okay.
Yep. So we got the Niners. So
in Detroit or
no, we go to them.
Yeah,
we go to them. So that's going to be a tough one. Yeah. Yep. So, well, let me see. I think we go to them. Hold on, let me see. But I mean, other than that though, I don't have anything else really to touch base on. Although, oh no, I'm sorry. The game's here. Oh, home game. My bad.
Oh, okay, cool.
So they'll be here. So, but we'll see. That goes to show you. I forgot. I haven't really touched Madden franchise like that. Otherwise, I would really know. But no, man. I don't have anything else really to talk about, Detroit sports wise, anything like that. That's pretty much the big ticket item right there, at least right now. So,
yeah, man. Happy that the season has started. Get to enjoy the first game of the season where your own team is not playing unless you guys are either a Bucks or Cowboys fan. I see Ron says go Cowboys go. Derek Davis says let's go Bucks. Now I will pick with you guys a little bit because y'all know me. If my team is on, I ain't watching nobody stream. I mean, as much as you guys may love Sim and Smitty, if it was me, I'm not watching nobody stream. But my boys are on. Well, y'all know, I have to watch the games, and I do my whole post game thing. But I'm just picking with you guys, man. But yeah, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing literally tonight, conducting the stream and looking at the game. Not if my Steelers was playing. And speaking of that, it's going to be a tough game for us, man. We got to go into Buffalo. That is going to be a very tough game. For you Steeler guys who are in here, I'll probably try to get that pregame show done tomorrow night. So look for that. If not tomorrow, it'll be Saturday, but I'm going to try to knock it out tomorrow evening. So stick around for that. But it's going to be tough, man. I mean, let's face it. Buffalo has been one of the top, teams in the AFC the last couple years. They had a great season last year. They're at home. They have high quality talent, solid defense. Josh Allen, who throws the ball all across the yard. They add Emmanuel Sanders into that receiver core. So, if you are still a fan, there's no way you can sit here and act as if, we gonna go in there and get it done. Can they do it? Maybe. But we got to see. The secondary is a little different in the cornerback position. In the offensive line, we still got to see what that's going to. It's a lot of ifs. So we'll see. Should be a good game, man, but who knows? Other than that, is there anything else I want to get into before we dive into the topic? Look at Tom Brady hooking up with Gronk in traffic. As long as he's doing that, the Bucks are going to be a problem again. I'm just going to let y'all know that. They brought all their players back. But yeah, man, I don't think I got anything else. And I know Smitty wants to comment on this, so I'll throw it at him because he mentioned it before the show. For you hardcore gamers out there that, we always say it doesn't always have to be Madden, even though we all want our football game to be great. There's other games for you to play. Insomnia. Or Insomniac. Is that I always call them one or the other. I think it's Insomnia. Insomnia. Y'all know who I'm talking about. The game developer. They did a teaser showing Wolverine. And I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. That could be interesting. That could be very, very interesting. You know, if you're familiar with Spider-Man and those series of games, you would only. I'm starting to look at them, Smitty, the same way we would look at like a Naughty Dog.
They're
one of those. They're gonna. The game is gonna be. It's gonna be solid. You don't even have to trip, but
they're already there.
Look out for that. But yeah, Smitty, I know you wanted to comment on that.
Bro, like this, I didn't know that they said something at the. Hold on, buddy. Here, go ahead out there. I didn't think that we would see anything or hear anything in the Sony presentation. I didn't know that they shown something for Spider-Man. I didn't watch the presentation, but I skimmed through, I skipped through some of it and saw some of the previews. As soon as I saw God of War, that was like, yo. And then when I saw that Wolverine, I was like, whoa, like, you know what I'm saying? But the fact that they got Spider-Man 2 and Venom is in it, both Spider-Mans are in it, Peter Parker and Miles Morales is in there.
Yeah, bro, they're getting crazy with it.
Yeah, that's amazing to see that happening. So, like, I for one am definitely excited to see that. And once again, they did Miles Morales. This is the same company that also did Ratchet and Clank. So it's like these dudes have been dropping hits. So, but yeah, like you said,
I didn't know they did that.
Yeah. So that's them too. So it's like they're in there with Rockstar and Naughty Dog with you dropping them titles. You know what I mean? Like you putting out them hits.
Nice quality work.
Oh yeah. So, and I mean the fact of the matter that this game, see, I understand GTAs and Red Dead Redemption is taking all those years to make because they go for that detail, that historic representation and everything like that. You know what I mean? So I get it. But this Spider-Man coming in 2023, that's nuts. Like that's what they're basically saying here. I see the little tweet on the side about it here. It's coming in 2023. I'm wondering what's happening with Wolverine. That's what I'm really curious about because we've seen Wolverine games done in the past and everything. Well, yeah, I would say like a game that they did based off of like when his Origins movie came out. A game came out back then, and it wasn't a bad game. But I want to see what they're doing with this with Insomniac's vision. Oh my goodness. Is the game going to be rated mature? Matter of fact.
Right.
Because of Wolverine. I mean, how you shown this, it's a less than a minute tease. It doesn't necessarily have to be that level of visceral violence, but I'm just saying, like, how far are they going to go necessarily with it being Wolverine? And I mean, you've done a good job of giving us an accurate portrayal of these characters and how they operate with the Spider-Man games. So what can we really expect when it comes to Wolverine and his game in terms of accurate portrayal when it pertains to his character and how he operates? That's why I'm just real curious about that. And I mean, I know Naughty Dog is going to kill it. Like, so that's going to be, that's going to be absolutely insane.
Man.
I can't wait.
It's a lot of special games. Even right now with the first wave of, first year of next gen consoles, there's games. Like I said, man, I'm still playing because I hadn't finished it. I've just been doing it and kind of pushing it out. I'm still playing Spider-Man, the one that came to PS4. I'm playing it on the PS5 because I ended up upgrading so I could get that for $20 or whatever, along with Miles. And I'm almost done. I'm almost done with it now. But I've just been enjoying just taking my time, playing it here and there, and I can't wait to get back to Miles. I mean, it's games, man, on these consoles that, again, I know most of us here are football guys and we want Madden to be great. But if it's not, get your fix somewhere else, man. You got 2K dropping tomorrow, tonight, or whatever you want to call it. Come on, man. But these games, and Smitty remembers this. I've always been a guy that, I played different types of games, but there was a time that I kind of went away from like not even purposely, but I didn't find myself playing as many RPGs and storyline games. And now that I've gotten back to them, you can really have yourself a great time, man. I mean, so take advantage of these games coming out. I look forward to it.
Look at Witcher 3. Like all that content that they have for that game. And I mean, that game is exceptionally high rated. Like the community loves it. Of course, the media, like they rave reviews over it. So it's just like, there's a lot of games that are out there that are beyond other genres that we're, accustomed to, like you said, that have a lot of depth to them. And if you are playing it, like, you see Madden's issues, and it's like, all right, well, I'll just be over here playing, like Horizon Zero Dawn or any of those other games in the meantime and in between time. So it's like, okay, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. So,
yeah, see, I haven't played. I say either one because I think of both of these games when I say the titles. Not that they're the same, but I haven't played that Horizon Zero Dawn or what's the other one? Demon Souls. I haven't played either one of those games. So there's still stuff for me to play. Shout outs to Damani Green Beans. Appreciate the donation first and foremost. And shout outs to you. Let's read your comment. He says, I've been wanting to play either both of y'all in Madden for years. So I guess he's saying he's been wanting to play either one of us or both of us. And I'm gonna be honest, man. I've said this several times. I'll let Smitty speak for himself. You kind of just have to catch me when I'm on. Like, if you on my friends list or something like that, and you happen to see that I'm on, you just have to send me a message or something. Say, hey man, you want to get quick gaming? Because most of the time when I'm on the PlayStation, when I'm gaming, I might be capturing content, or I might be playing a league game, or I might be, gathering footage for my offline franchise, for the YouTube series, which I'll start up at some point. I've been kind of waiting for scouting, but I'll just be honest, man. I'm not around a lot to set a time or date. That's why many people for many years that's probably wanted to rock out with me just haven't, unless you've been in the league. I played some of you guys that have been in the league that me and Azure and Smitty all started. Most of what you might catch me play often, and some community guys have definitely, some of you guys, subs or whatever you want to call it, have played with me, has been Battlefield. A lot of times when Battlefield is on and popping, I'm out there gaming. And again, I'm cool with giving my tag, and I will accept friend requests and all of that. And you kind of just catch me when you catch me, so definitely maybe one day we'll get a chance to rock out, man. But that's pretty much my reply to that. Who else had something to say here? Beast Mode says, Sim, when do you expect the scout drop? Because I'm like a bunch of others waiting on that to start my franchise. Same as me. At one time, and I don't know, I think I am going to start a franchise maybe later tonight or tomorrow, whatever, just so I can kind of feel the game out a little bit since the beta. just, to see if my settings work out the way I want them, play around with a few sliders here and there, or, just try to get a good feel of the game. And then once the scouting update comes out, I will start the official franchise, that I'll be sharing as far as the YouTube series. But that's the same reason I've been waiting on the same thing as well. And I have no idea, man. I mean, they said September and what is it today? September the 9th. So we'll have to wait and see. It would have been nice if they would have surprised the community with maybe the scouting would have dropped today with the first roster update, right? But who knows? And the one thing I hold on to is they continue to say shooting for, tentative. So it does make me wonder if September is still the actual target that they will hit. So we shall see. But hold on, guys. Let me read a few more of you guys' comments here, kill a little bit of time till we get Smitty back. Shout outs to my man Damani again, man, for another donation here. He says, King, I'm a truck driver. It's kind of the same scenario. I feel you. And DJ, I see my man DJ is in here tonight. DJ knows, we've rocked out sometimes, on Battlefield. So it seems like I'm usually easier to catch just by happenstance in Battlefield. But like I said, I promise, man, if I'm on, shoot me your gamer tag, shoot me a friend request. Let me know what the tag is, because I'll be honest, I don't accept them all because you get random weirdos sometimes. Let me know what your name is on there. I will accept you. And you see me online, just shoot me a quick message. Hey, man, you want to get a quick game in? And yeah, we can make it happen, man, if the stars align, if you will. Let's see. Just reading comments right now, guys, until Smitty gets back. Yes, absolutely, DJ. You already know. You already know, especially since you got your next-gen consoles popping, so we'll make it happen. Easy, though, says... Let me throw this up here. I know y'all haven't talked about it yet, but man, have you seen the depth in my league for 2K22? 2K does everything we want Madden to do. Just makes me wonder if they had the license. We will get to that. Let's keep that in the tuck for when we get to that topic. We'll just knock Madden out first, get that out the way, and I promise we won't skip 2K tonight because I don't want to spend a ton of time on Madden. Like I said, I don't even want it to be an every week thing. But just so happens that this particular time, there was some news that dropped. And you know what I think we're going to do? We're going to go ahead and play it. What I'll do actually here, I'm going to get it right to the point. I'm just fast forwarding here. All right, here we go. And let me say this before we play it, because even when I put out my independent video, people develop their own narratives. Right, I saw people say, "Oh, Sam is going at Clint," and I'm like, "No, I'm not." Let me say this and say it very clear. I fully support the developers that I personally know and have built a relationship with. I said that. I made it clear in my video. But at the same time, if you are cool with somebody, let's say your friend, let's say all of y'all in here tonight, your boys. Your boy is your boy and he doing something wrong. You should be able to tell him, right? You should be able to, quote unquote, check him. I don't like using that word check unless your friend doing something foul. But if he's doing something and you like, yo, I ain't agree with that. As friends, you should be, me and Smitty should be able to do that with each other. Like, yo, Sam, I ain't, I don't know, man. I ain't like, and as friends, we should be able to be like, yeah, I feel you, and keep it moving. And that's what that was. Yeah, I got a relationship with Clint, than a dead, but I should be able to say, nah, bro, you was wrong on that one. And that's what my video was all about. So while some of y'all are saying I went at him and all that, stop trying to build a narrative. I was merely just being that guy that you should be. If you're a real person and you know somebody, you should be able to pull their coattail and be like, oh, whoa, player. Nah, no, you shouldn't have said that. But anyway, let's play it. I will try more than likely play it in its entirety. It's only about 9 minutes. And that'll give me a chance to look at the game here. Since it's it ain't tied. Oh, they get ready to kick the extra point. Let me get it, guys. And this is just for those of you who hadn't seen it already. Very, very interesting. Where is it? Here we go. Almost forgot how to share. And sorry for all the bouncing around. If you see the screen bouncing, guys, it's because I'm using my laptop tonight. Where is it? Chrome tab. There we go. Twitch. Okay, what happened? Okay, see, MacBook. Give me a second, guys. The Mac is asking me to accept something. Let me see. All right, here we go. All right, it came up. All right, and hopefully I included audio. I don't think I just did, so let me stop it and reshare it. 1 second. Bear with me, guys. I know I'm taking forever. I know. Share tab. Yeah, here we go. Include audio. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's do a test. I'm gonna start it from the beginning. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear it.
The notes itself.
And then we'll get to Clint's part. So if you guys can confirm that you can see and hear it,
first title update
we're gonna let you guys hear it in its entirety.
And one of the things that we
talked
talked
about there, we did have a note. Wow, where's my mind at?
Called out
me and Smitty will discuss
on the stream, and I'll pull it up
from
from
me and Sim.
the notes
that is
itself.
Crazy.
Was
everybody can hear that, right?
Before we get into, we talked a little bit about it, about going into the gameplay updates that we've been aware.
All right, let me pause it until we get the virtual thumbs up. Did you guys hear that? I just seen one of the Bucks corners went out. Where y'all at, man? Could y'all hear that? Somebody say yay, somebody say nay. Was you able to hear it, Smitty? Okay, yeah, there we go. Cool.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I can hear it. My mic was muted. Yeah, I can hear it too in the stream. Yep.
All right, cool. Then they can hear it. All right, let's let it roll, guys.
Kind of listening to some of the feedback from our players, and I just kind of wanted to jump into it real quick here and chat with you a little bit about that, on what specifically you and the team have been seeing in the area of pass coverage at this time.
Yeah, so thanks for having me on, first of all. Okay, that's correct. Like you, text doesn't do it justice, and so we want to have this discussion with our players. And there's 3 primary things that we want to talk about with our players today. Number 1, we want to acknowledge and receive the feedback that our players are giving us around pass coverage on the defensive side of the ball. Number 2, we want to be transparent with our players about what we plan to do about that feedback and talk a little bit about our plan to address that. And then number 3, give a reason behind that plan, talk a little bit about where our game health currently stands and how that's impacting that plan. So those are the 3 primary things that we want to talk about today.
Cool. Well, I know, with title update 2, a lot of times, I think players were kind of expecting some level of update kind of in title update 2, but I know you guys have been always taking a very cautious approach. And I do know that there's some fixes kind of already in play. And you guys have been looking at that. Can you talk to us a little bit about that today?
Yeah. So when we take all this feedback in around pass coverage and really start digging in to figure out what players are talking about, what we found is there's, a handful of specific behaviors that frustrates players because those behaviors have become predictable and they're not taking away the things offensively that they expect. So some of those things are like corner routes against cover 3 deep zone or flat zones, things of that nature. They're very, very specific. However, we're going to get into it in a second. We want to be very careful not to completely swing the pendulum around relative to game balance this soon. And one of those issues is actually fixed.
That's the first thing that I don't like, but I'm not going to stay here. But I just want to point out each segment that's important. That word, keeping in balance with game, and hold on, let me go back. Let's go back and get the exact wording on that.
Swing the pendulum around. We want to be very careful not to completely swing the pendulum around relative to game balance this soon.
There we go.
And one of those,
I get where he's coming from, guys, but I just hate when it's like we're swinging pendulums. Y'all know I'm always talking about turning the dial up, turning it down. I don't like being able to adjust things to try to keep game balance. And I'm gonna be the first to admit to say it's a video game. I get it. I don't know if there's any other way to. So I understand the sentiment. It's just that I just never liked that approach from any game. And maybe that's the only way. I don't know. But let's continue.
Those issues is actually fixed prior to worldwide launch on the 20th of August.
Mm-hmm.
A couple days prior to that, we did fix an issue with Cover 2 Deep Zone. So one of those issues is already fixed. We want to be very specific and precise with what we roll out in a series of title updates coming here in the next several weeks. And the first one's going to be on cover 3 primarily. We're going to go tackle the biggest behavioral issues in Cover 3. We're going to roll that out to players. Then we're going to monitor. Then we'll start focusing on other zones like Cover 2 and Cover 4. And it's going to be more of a steady, precise, targeted approach to address the game feedback that we're getting from our players, but also take into account the game health data, which we'll talk about in just a minute.
Started off on a great path. Great path. Now, we could argue whether or not Cover 2, one of the main things, was fixed. We know there's still a couple issues there. But the great path that you started on by saying, we've already got Cover 3 stuff works. We're going to roll that out. Then we're going to tackle Cover 2, tackle Cover 4, and we're doing it with a smarter approach. Great job, Clint. Great job letting us know, okay, we're on top of it. We're still a little pissed because you've been telling us since the beta that you know about these problems. So we still don't understand why the problems are even there. Y'all been knowing about it for so long. What's taking so long? But you said it's coming. But then you took a left turn. Let's hear it, folks.
Yeah. So sorry about that. So when we're talking about kind of like, you mentioned some of the things that you guys are working when it comes down to fixes. One of the things and questions that I had is like, when you guys are looking at kind of like the data that's in the game and from a game health perspective, what is some of the stuff that you guys are looking at from that tuning standpoint, right? Like what are you trying to be mindful of specifically?
Yeah, and that's exactly where I want to go. So whenever we get feedback, the first thing that we always want to do is look at the stats that we're getting from gameplay and try to match it up and see where the biggest problems are, because the feedback, as much as we value it, it's not always exactly clear on what needs to be done. And that's where the data tries to put another puzzle piece in place. So looking at game health, it's actually fairly strong on the defensive side of the ball here in this early part of the Madden season. I just want to give a couple data points that we're looking at that are informing this plan moving forward. So first of all, average yards per passing play in Madden 22 is very, very close to what it was in Madden 21. Across all the different passing plays, that average ranges from flat year over year to a maximum increase of 2 yards per play. If you look at the defensive side of the ball, average yards allowed per coverage type, so that's taking Cover 2, Cover 4, Cover 3, breaking it down and looking at what's the average yards allowed per coverage type, that ranges from flat year over year to a max increase of 1.5 yards per play when compared to Madden 21. The interception rate in Madden 22 is nearly 10% compared to the 2020 real world NFL rate, which was only 2.2%. So we're almost 8% higher than the real life NFL in terms of interceptions thrown. And that number is actually slightly up from Madden 21. And then the most powerful one that I want to tell our players about.
Go back right, Clint. You still going left. Go back right, buddy. All right, let's continue. There's more.
Average score per team in online head-to-head play in Madden 22 is 24 points per game. That's almost exactly the same as the NFL 2020 average of 24.7. And for players who are less experienced, that average actually drops down to 14 points per game. I know I just threw a lot of numbers at you and our players.
Sure, yeah.
But in a nutshell, what this tells us is it's actually a lot closer than one may believe if you're seeing those behaviors that I talked about more frequently. So this is why our plan is a little bit more steady, targeted, and precise than just throwing a bunch of stuff in an early title update and hoping that the outcome is what we hope.
Got it. So at the end of the day, if I understand it correctly, when you guys are kind of looking at kind of tuning the game, there's always like this design, there's always like this vision of, how the game should feel based off of kind of like the real NFL. But then not just that, but then also looking at kind of how players play and then finding that balance from there to kind of promote the best kind of game health, correct?
Correct. And we have to provide good game health and balance for all of our millions of players out there who love Madden. Everyone plays the game a little bit differently. Everybody has different skill levels. And we need to make sure that our game is the most fun that we could possibly deliver for all of our players.
Got it. Okay.
No, you can't say that. You can't say that. And I'm going to explain why you cannot say that. We'll get to it. Let's let the rest of it play. It's only about 3 minutes or so, but left turns are happening all over the place. Started off going so well, and then just the tire blew, and it just man. All right, let's listen to the rest of it.
So I know, there's some changes in 22 that have impacted coverage. Can you talk a little bit about that specifically?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. And we talked a lot about this prior to launch in terms of blogs and deep dive videos and whatnot. But there are some things that changed in other areas of gameplay that have impacted the perception of pass coverage that I just wanted to note. The first one, and probably the most powerful one, was we greatly decreased multiplayer catches to promote more user control on the offensive side of the ball. So in 21 and 20, and even prior to that, multiplayer catches were kind of that safety net. If you had a receiver one-on-one and you tried to do, let's say, a rat catch, a run-after catch, a multiplayer catch may match. We call it match, and that the DB could catch up pretty quickly to close that gap and cause a knockout. Same with aggressive catches. The DB could join in and cause that knockout. And so multiplayer catches was a safety net in some cases that have been greatly decreased in Madden 22. Another one is our next-gen player movement. That's made it a little bit more difficult for defenders who are out of position to recover and close that window. We also did some tuning to decrease drop rate on the offensive side of the ball, so more catches are being completed. And then if you look at Ultimate Team specifically, everyone who plays that mode deeply knows that those ratings are going to escalate over the year. And so you're not seeing a lot of defensive back ends, defensive back groups that are super elite in coverages yet. As you're going to see over the next 7 to 8 weeks, you're going to have ratings escalating from the high 80s into the low 90s, mid 90s, and eventually the high 90s. And that's going to also have an impact on pass coverage and defensive behavior as a whole. So basically what I'm saying is I'm giving you all this data and I'm giving you all these things that changed this year to tell you that coverage is growing, it's evolving, it's going to evolve all season long so that we can provide a healthy meta and provide a very fun experience for all of our players.
Cool. Well, Clint, I appreciate you being on, man. I really do. And I know you said that the team is kind of working on some title updates. We should see them here in the future. So we'll definitely stay tuned, kind of bring that information out to our players and all that kind of great stuff. Clint, I know I know we're all busy, but I really do appreciate your time this morning. I'll let you get at it while I go ahead and continue with stuff on the stream, but super helpful information.
All right, guys. That's all we needed to hear. Let me stop sharing that. And let me say this as well. I like Clint a lot, man. Clint is a great guy. Good dude. Clint has been nothing but, and I can say this with a straight face, nothing but honest with me since I've known him. Nothing but honest. He was telling me exactly what's going on with the game, why this isn't that. Why they didn't get to a certain thing. No, it's not quite what you want. You remember when Rex said that on stream about the sim standard? I know it's not what my guys want, but was always open and honest. So that, like I said, this is not an indictment on him or me attacking him. But again, when you feel like somebody is wrong and you cool with them, you're supposed to be able to tell them, right? Here's the left turn. So many things I could say, but this is the basic root of the left turn of that conversation. You cannot use data in conjunction with broken systems. You just can't. You can't. Even if it was just so happened to work out, you still can't use that as a means of saying, see, this is why. No, but it's broken. So for hardcore players, we're not trying to hear that, because if basic things in coverage isn't working, like reactions of the safeties, and if that stuff is not working, we don't care how close it is in comparison to the real data. Because to me, that's a fluke. It's not happening because the game is playing like an NFL game, and maybe there's more people who don't know how to read coverage or whatever, and it's not happening because of that. To me, it's just happening coincidentally. You're right around the same numbers because it's some. I think what it is that certain group of people that probably boost those numbers play the game the same way anyway. And they've been playing it like that for the last several years that still had broken coverage. You cannot use data to compensate for things that are broken. You just can't, man. And that's my biggest gripe. I don't think it's as bad as what some were saying. Some people were saying, see, this guy doesn't know. No, man, it wasn't that. And Clint knows what he's doing. He knows football and all of that. It's just, this was a simple case of delivering the wrong message at the wrong time. Yeah, this wasn't a time for that. What he could have just simply said was, look, man, we still know we got issues with coverage. We all know that. We got cover 2 in the pike. We got cover 3 coming down the pike. We got cover 4. And leave it at that. Don't go and try to explain, because when you tried to explain it, the foot went into the mouth.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You can't. And then here's the last thing I'll say, and I definitely want to get Smitty's thoughts. I'm sick and tired of hearing it's got to be fun for all our players. Listen, I understand the sentiment. I know what you mean. But when you say that in the same conversation of data, it sounds like it's purposely being done. Whether it is or isn't, that's what it sounds like. It could easily come off as, oh, so y'all doing that on purpose because you wanted to be fun. That feeds into a narrative. And furthermore, then what is rookie difficulty and pro difficulty there for? Aren't those, modes supposed to be a little easier? And what about the play style of arcade? That sounds like I could have fun, right? So I don't understand that side of things, saying that everybody has to have fun. No, you don't make it with that intention. You don't make it with the intention of everyone having fun. You make the authentic representation of a sport. That goes for any sport. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey, boxing. Shout outs to ESBC. Because they're going for authenticity. Right? That's what you do. And here's the funny thing. EA, y'all did this with a game called Tiger Woods. You had a simulation mode in that game that won't know a whole lot of fun to your boy, because I don't know golf. I don't know real golf, but I tried it and was like, yo, let me try to use some logic and win. And I think I've heard people say driver before. Like, I played with it, but I wasn't that good on sim mode because I didn't know golf. If I wanted to play and have, just play golf, I could not put it on simulation. I could have a few helpers, which Madden also has. So I'm just tired of hearing that statement. That's a corporate statement. Trust me when I tell y'all this. Clint Oldenburg would love for the football game to be a simulation game, man. I'm saying that to y'all. I know. I've had the conversation. But this is the problem, that sometimes when you get put in front like that, and now you have to justify certain things that are happening from a corporate standpoint, this is how it's going to come off. And y'all saw it. Twitter killed him. Twitter went crazy. Madden Twitter went crazy. And then listen, like I said, that's why I made my video. Hey, man, you my guy, but this wasn't the time for that message. This was not the time for that message. Not now. No, we're not receiving that. We don't believe you. We need more people. Pulling out the whole reference on you. Like, bruh. No, you cannot say that to and last thing, Smitty. You can't say that to this fan base, right? And I said this in my video, and I'm repeating it because I want people to connect these dots. Your hardcore fan base for Madden is sim guys and comp guys. We're the only ones who talk. The casuals don't. So when you got simulation guys who identify as sim guys, and you got competitive guys that identify as competitive guys, are all screaming, there's a problem, EA, corporate, whoever. There's a problem when you got those who you put on TV and those hardcore simulation guys are all screaming the same thing. That says issue. Stop worrying about the casual. Make football. Just make football. I promise you we will adapt to it. I promise. Everyone would. The casuals would still cut it on and play and look at Tom Brady. I love Brady. And they'll find a way to have fun with the game. I promise you, if it was authentic. The funny thing is, a casual person really appreciates authenticity. I'm a casual hockey guy. I'm impressed every time I cut on NHL. I was like, oh man, look at that little detail. Oh, look at the dude is skating. I don't know nothing about hockey. But because it's authentic, at least again, I'm not trying to act like I know hockey and how sim the game is or isn't. But to me, it's a great representation and it attracts me. Come on, man. So many left turns in that video, Smith. I said Smitty. It was so many, man. I mean, it started so good too. Like, okay, they know they're addressing it. We still mad at y'all. It's taking forever, but then you add the data and everybody got to have fun. Was not a good day for the sim crowd, man, or the comp crowd, or anyone who's currently having hopes held out that the coverage will be fixed. That wasn't a good moment. Wasn't a good moment. What you think, Smitty, man? Because I know we've been talking and texting Twitter, but tell the folks, man, how did you feel initially when you heard that message?
I mean, when I saw it initially, man, I was, first of all, I saw the uproar on Twitter, and I'm like, why are people all of a sudden talking about Madden and zone issues? Because I'm like, we've been said that zones were a problem, so like, what's the hubbub all about? But then they said, what Clint had said was the issue, and I go check it out and listen to him, and I'm like, excuse me, the issue I have is that these guys went again and made it about the data. He gave the absolute corporate answer possible. And, I know to a degree their hands are forced in terms of their hands are tied in terms of what they can and cannot say. But I mean, this was a case where you should have just took your high road, made your statements about the zone play, it being worked on, and then just called it a day from there. Like, that's literally what should have happened. But yeah, you absolutely jack yourself up when you sit up here and you're trying to say like, oh, we got to make sure it's balanced and we got to make sure it doesn't need to be balanced. Defense needs to play the way defense is supposed to play in cover 2, cover 3, cover 4. It doesn't need to be balanced. And shout out to Zan, because he made a great points about this as well. And he showcased the video examples. 99 overall. Well, 99 overall. 99 was it? He said he has 99 zone and man coverage. Jalen Ramsey. And in line with what Clint said, talking about, 8 weeks down the line, 7-8 weeks down the line, we'll be updating things accordingly, so that way things are more balanced because people are going to have higher overall rated teams. And it's like, but he literally shown a play where Ramsey gave an 8-yard cushion in terms of covering his receiver. And I'm like, this guy is rated in terms of zone and man. He's already rated, he's already maxed. So it's like, so what are you going to do? What is it that you're going to tune necessarily when the game is already playing as such? You know what I mean? So that's the problem. Like when you sit up here and you try to tell it like, oh, it's okay. When people, literally have shown you how the game is fundamentally playing wrong. You don't need, you're already being told, you're already being shown your reflection, and then here you are still trying to press it. Yeah, I'm sorry, dude. Like, you can't sit up and say, oh, well, data-wise. And another thing is, you can't compare your game to the NFL when you don't even have the NFL in yours to the fullest. Do you have full-on penalties during these games? No, you don't. Pass control even? No. Line stunts? No. You know what I mean? Like, we could go on and on and on, but these games play properly in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Players have miscues and things like that, but they play properly in the NFL. What are you doing what are you guys doing in the grand scheme of things that aligns you with the NFL other than just saying, hey, numerical wise, we're in a good spot? And it's like just because you hear the NFL, automatically they're like, oh, compared to real life, this is what we're right in the pocket. In comparison to real life, we do this.
Playing accurately, we would accept that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like if it was, so like, no, man, you can't. No, you made a big mistake. Like I said, the big mistake he made was trying to justify these clear as day core gameplay issues as data points, using data points to justify the health in the state of this game right now. Like, come on, man. Nah. Can't do that. So, no, Clint's at fault. He said the corporate answer. It's just like when the pandemic hit in the first place, and you had what's his name? Well, no, when they read up the deal with the NFL, they made a point. They use as a selling point, hey, Superstar KO, the usage rate from year to year went up like, I think it was like 30-40% or whatever. I'm like, of course it went up because people are locked inside quarantining. So if you're a gamer and you're quarantining and you're trying to find something to play to occupy time, of course you're going to play Madden, along with other games too, like you can factor in as well. But the point is, of course they're going to play Madden. Why wouldn't they play it? You know what I'm saying? You're giving them the option to do so. So that's different. But I'm sorry, dude. Like, no. It's unacceptable. Completely acceptable.
It is.
For it to be that way. So, but once again, that's the kind of dialogue that keeps the shareholders happy. Because, you make those points, people will get upset, but they're still going to purchase anyway. So, but no, that's basically my take on it.
Yeah, man, and it's trying to use the MUT ratings coming later and stuff like that. Like, see, it's like it's one of those things where even when you say stuff from a corporate standpoint, it can be debunked. It's just you just put yourself in a trap. Because like Smitty said, Zan went right out and said, okay, well, let's look at Jalen Ramsey. No MUT card needed. And look at how he's playing this. And that's the thing. And again, I always want to reiterate, it's not about the players making the play every time. I just want to see the behavior. The general behavior, even though if his ratings might not be high enough for him to cover this much ground or react as fast, but I just want to see them at least playing their assignment. And what we're saying is guys are not even playing an assignment in certain scenarios or not looking at the receiver. I mean, the receiver and not playing the the closest threat. It's like the general stuff. And again, and I saw Beast Mode said earlier here, I don't subscribe to the idea of MUT needing to be a separate game. And let me explain to you guys why. Once upon a time, I might have mentioned that, but now I don't, because it's the same gameplay. It's the same gameplay structure. Remember what I said. Comp guys are also having the same complaints. And these are dudes who are playing MUT, playing for money even. Some guys that may have gotten to the MCS and things like that. MUT does not have to be a separate game. And I know that that's a misconception that a lot of people have. That's not holding the game progression back, right? Now, we could say that, the suits are happy with the money that the game makes. Sure. But I don't think splitting those games up would make a difference, because now you're talking about, unless you're going to create a totally different dev team, now you got 2 games that need to be made. No, MUT is the same gameplay on the field. The only difference is they have cards with boosted ratings and stuff like that. Same as I would say with any other game. It's the same gameplay structure in my team in 2K. You understand what I'm saying? It does not have to be separate games. They just need to make every single mode respect football fundamentals. You know what I mean? That's it. That's all they got to do. You make the game respect football principles and fundamentals across the board in any mode, and that's it. I have no problem with MUT being a fantasy world where you can create this fantasy team and you can boost players. Fine, go do that. But as long as the core integrity and fundamentals apply, that covers every area of the game. It's us, the fan base, that try to separate the games like that. And then we keep saying it. And me and Smitty has been saying this for years too. Think about this. MUT don't really change yearly. They just develop new cards. But I know people would always say that they spend more time in developing MUT. No, MUT is copy and paste. Wash, rinse, repeat. You know what I mean? So, but I understand why us hardcore guys, why, some of us still feel this way, and how some of us once felt that it was MUT, but it's really not. It's really not. The gameplay, because like I said, it affects all modes. The comp guys are complaining the same way we are. And it would be different if this year that in MUT, right? It would be different if we came out right now, we saw defense being played like crazy and MUT, everybody's respecting their zones. But then when you play now or play franchise, they didn't. And that would be a different conversation. But that ain't the case. It's just the way the game is designed. And sometimes in MUT, you might see slight differences because they boost ratings and stuff like that. And they have, targeted abilities. But here's the funny thing, guys. And then, we can jump to 2K after that, because I want to get that in tonight for sure. What's interesting about Madden, right? And bringing up the NFL and all that. As you watch this game here tonight, right? From the trenches to some of the coverages, I'm seeing a whole lot of Madden stuff right out here on this field. I'm seeing it, right? I'm seeing stuff that if we saw it in Madden, we'd be like, man, what in the world? But the problem is it's like what me and Smitty just said. If Madden was built to play with the structure and integrity as real football, and these moments were happening, we all would be like, yeah, that could happen. But we don't believe it in Madden, because when those things happen, it's not because of programming, if that makes sense. Sometimes it's because of bugs, or it's because of a predetermined outcome. You know what I'm saying? It's like and what I say about Madden stuff happening on the field, I'm talking about blown coverage. I'm seeing situations where dudes are cooking in the middle. You know, like even on that first touchdown, we always talk about the middle linebacker not playing effectively, right, in pass game. Did y'all see on that first touchdown, Michael Parsons was kind of right there. He just couldn't get his hand on the ball. In Madden, we would look at that and say, why didn't he react faster? You see what I'm saying? It's like it. I don't know. That's why I always say it is going to be interesting if Madden ever gets to the point where we all think it's playing from a sim standpoint. And when those things happen, it's going to be interesting to see who accepts it and who doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's things that happen in real football, man. That's just so it's weird. I don't know, but I don't want to talk so much about those things because it's chaotic and dynamic. But we're just talking about the basics. When you can look at the video like Zan posted with cover 2, and there's only one solo receiver over here in the corner, carries him as far back as he's supposed to go. Then he drops down into that intermediate flat area, and the safety drifts inside the hash mark instead of playing the outside deep third.
Yeah.
That's not supposed to happen, folks. Now, maybe if he's a super bum and he's just stuck watching the quarterback, but I mean, at no time do they show us that he's looking, oh, here's my threat. Even if he don't get there, that stuff not supposed to happen, man.
No.
Steelers fans, didn't we used to see Artie Burns react even though he didn't make the play? At least we still saw what he was trying to do, and that's my point. But I don't know, man.
A player in the game can be like a 60 overall and still make a legitimate reaction. You know what I'm saying, to the play. So, and that's once again, that's a game that has that like FIFA. They have it like that. NHL, they have it like that. Like where players will be lowly rated, but they still can be effective because they do have some skill offering on the court. They have some level of competence. It may not be super high, but they have some level of competence on the field. Madden, if they're lowly rated, they can't do jack. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much it. So
yeah, man. And before we jump to 2K, I want to read Beast Mode's comment here. He says, Sim, what are your thoughts on the new NCAA football game? What do you expect to see from EA the first year back with Ben Miller being back working on NCAA? I'm probably going to give a less than desirable answer. What I don't want to see, and some of you old heads, as far as us gamers who remember, what the differences were between the two, would understand this statement. What I don't want to see is NCAA 14 versus Madden 25. And this is what I mean. It was the same gameplay. Better game in terms of maybe it had a slightly different feel. Me and Smitty got a chance to witness that in person, how they tune the game to make it feel more wide open for college, which I'm not mad at that. It is a more wide open game in college. I mean, we see that in real life. But the gameplay integrity, principles, and things like that was the same. It was no different. NCAA at that time had more depth with, dynasty mode and, coaching adjustments and the pitch system, all of those things that, composure, which, finally we got it back in 21. Those things, the home field advantage and those type, it had more depth. It felt live, more lively with the sounds and the but on the field, it wasn't much different. So I hope that doesn't happen, meaning I hope we're just not getting what we're playing now, quote unquote, but throwing NCAA on it. And I don't see how the two games would be different between the lines in terms of the core structure. Like I said, you can tune things different, but I'm just talking about the core integrity of the game. I don't see them being different because the same dev team, for the most part, is going to make it. You understand what I'm saying? So the game engine will be the same as Madden's, whatever they do. So what I'm hoping, just to get to my point, is that it's something new. You know, maybe they have something, and you know, this could be a pipe dream, but it might be a reality. They're building NCAA, right? So what if they are building NCAA with this new engine? And at the same time, Madden will be on that new engine that year when NCAA drops. Possible. Who knows? But however the case may be, the game will be on the same exact engine. So if we hope for NCAA to be great, then that would be us saying that, okay, Madden should be good at the same time. So that's my long answer to that. All right, Smitty, let's get into this 2K, man. You probably have read more in-depth stuff than I have so far with it. Because I'm gonna be honest, a lot of times I read that stuff a little late because they show it late. But yeah, for the most part, I don't have to run and see. Wonder what they're doing. I know what they're doing. They're gonna do pretty much a lot of what they've been doing and probably got some enhancements to it, and then I'll just see them when I see them. But once again, man, here we have a basketball game that's coming out that I think I'm probably going to end up spending more time with than I do Madden, man, at the current moment. And that's a travesty for me because I am a football guy first. I'm sick of it, man. And we'll see what happens when scouting comes out and all that for Madden. And we'll see what the gameplay looks like in a month or two from now. But 2K just come out swinging, bro. And even if they don't get everything right, it's not going to be perfect. We know that. It might be some frustrating things. Maybe. I've seen people already trying to dissect the game. But, dog, the fact that they try and they keep pushing, come on, man. How can you not and just enjoy the game? You know what I'm saying? And I mean, because all of these, here's a real reality, Smitty. All of these games have problems. Like, let's be honest. And I see some people out here on Twitter that beat down every single game. And I'd be like, well, what do you play? You know what I mean? Like I ain't talking about feedback. I'm talking about killing the game. Oh, that sucks. Oh, that's everyone. I've seen them say it for MLB, FIFA. They already saying it about 2K right now on Twitter. It's the same couple people. I'm like, well, what do you play? What game are you at least just enjoying, even if it ain't the best? I don't know. I try not to be that guy. But what's your thoughts, Smitty, man, overall with what they're doing? Something that they're doing that maybe I haven't seen yet. I know somebody earlier in the chat was saying, have I seen the depth that they have in my league? I mean, it's been there for years. I don't know if they've taken it to another level this year. But
they did.
In my league.
Yep.
Oh, man. Tell us about it.
All right. So what they basically did was, because I think this is kind of the response to people saying that the franchise mode's been dry.
Oh,
and they haven't really done a lot to it in a long time.
Pull up the articles here.
So what they did was they added an element to it, which is called My Staff. Okay. So now what this basically is that, let me see here. You have 17 staff positions to fill. So what this means is, for example, here's the subcategory. So as far as the front office, you have governor, GM, assistant GM, and the CFO. Specifically under coaching, you have your head coach, right? But then on top of that, you have shot doctor, big man coach, post defense coach, perimeter defense coach, guard guru, wing whisperer. These are all your coaching staff. for the coaching. Now for scouting, though,
What in the world?
yeah. So scouting, you got your head scout, and then you can add on 4 scouts domestically and 2 international. So let's say if you only want to scout domestic talent and no internationals, you can hire for that. So that way you only do domestic.
Madden's doing that too, by the way, guys. We'll see. We'll see.
And you got sports medicine, which is your head team doctor, and then you also have strength trainer, stamina trainer, sports psych, sports science, physio, and sleep doctor.
Smitty.
So
wait a minute. Are you telling me that I have actual positions or doctors for each one of those categories?
Yep. You got a head, and then he has a staff. You got your head coach, and then you got your coaching staff. You got your head scout, and then you got your scouting staff. You got your front office, guys. See, so that they added that. And you fill them according to how you want your team to be built up from. Okay. So you got to fill every position, and you got to have a head of each department. So you got a cap of 17 positions to fill, like I said, but you got to balance the staff budget. So you may have gaps because of how much you spend or don't spend. So, I mean, the article's deep, but it's just like saying you got to determine exactly what's important to your franchise, because similar to real life, franchises will have strengths and weaknesses. Will you opt for revolutionary training team with the shades of the Phoenix Suns, able to mitigate injuries and give a second wind to older players, or perhaps focus on a more brilliant coaching staff like Pop, who impacts what happens on the court? Do you want to try and fish for the great next international player, or forego international scouting altogether? These are questions you'll be able to answer directly with the freedom to make the team that you want to see.
You're making my head hurt, man. Oh, God. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So this is the kind of stuff they have. And they have a load management element in here too, just like in the NBA. And by the way, just to let y'all know, the part that I just went through and read, that's prior to the deep dive section of the article.
You know what's so funny too, man? And if you guys don't believe it, just look at what 2K is doing, and maybe another game or two. I can't remember which game it was. Remember when I always said the industry, they kind of know what each other are doing. They kind of know, like, and it's 2K is showing Madden like, look, we know y'all trying to do your little scouting thing too, and have your international and domestic scouts and all that, and you got your little progressive fatigue. But now they're reminding you, well, look how we do it. Since we've already kind of had this core structure, let's show you how we get down. And that's where, like I said, man, Madden is just going. They just gonna be behind for a couple years, bro. Even with the depth, bro.
And see, just to give a sample here, when it comes to the team doctor says team doctor impacts all the other sports medicine jobs, and in the event of a vacancy in the position, it uses the team's uses the team doctor's attributes and badges at half capacity. By the way, they got badges and stuff too, so there's that part as well. Strength trainer assists in the development of strength and vertical. Stamina trainer assists
2K right now.
assists in the development of conditioning, stamina, and hustle. The sports psych, which is impacts team chemistry and morale, Without the presence of a strong sports psych, it's possible teams can tailspin into a negative cycle of morale and team chemistry drops. Sports scientists, essential to the prevention of injuries, they help both give benefits in terms of player durability on individual body parts, as well as reducing the chance to be injured. Let's see, was it physio, the one that helps players rehab from injuries, and the sleep doctor helps manage the health and wellness of players, allowing them to better manage season fatigue. That's when your load management comes into play.
Now, this is the number one question, and sorry guys if y'all keep seeing it blink out a little bit. It looks like Wi-Fi is dropping in and out. Well, I'm up here on the third floor, man, and my router and everything is in the basement. Usually, most of the time when I do the show, I'm either down there or I'm hardwired laptop. So I'm seeing it on my end. I don't know if you guys are seeing it, but I'm seeing it blink out for like 3 seconds and comes back. But what I was going to say, here's the number one question. And I think I already know the answer. Does this affect gameplay? And I'm sure it does. And I'm dying to see, like, how. Like, what if I get bad sleep? Man. It's just, golly, man. The depth.
Yep.
By the way, folks, EA corporate, while y'all sitting up there because there's really no real competition, 2 points. That's your competition. And second point, they don't have any real competition. And they just keep pushing the envelope. You know who they competing with? They competing with probably the show. I'm pretty sure the way we know 2K, right? We know them to be about details and delivering an authentic experience, and they keep hearing gamers. Because let me tell you something. Companies like 2K is hearing simulation people speak, and they keep hearing people say how, man, I don't know which one is the better pure simulation. Is it 2K or MLB The Show?
But actually, 2K beats them because shout out to M. Dot, and I'll tell you why. M. Dot did a video at the beginning of launch when MLB The Show 21 came out, and he basically was able to build a superstar team because the logic is messed up. The trade logic is jacked up. And MLB The Show, like, he was able to trade prospects and get like some of the biggest names literally on one team, just giving away prospects. And it's like, there's no way you should be able to do that. And whereas in 2K, if you just forfeit draft picks, unless your team is trending in a negative direction and they're possibly going to get a top pick, only then would you possibly be able to get an asset that high in value. But even then, you got to sell the farm in order to get it. Even if you use the trade finder, it's like you got to sell the farm in order to make it happen. So, or you got to give away good players in order to get picks. And at the same time, you got teams that are trying to dump players off to dump salary. You know what I mean? A player may have 2-3 years left in their contract, but they're owed like 50-60 million. And it's like, you're trying to dump all that. They're going to dump that on you. You know what I'm saying? If you'll take it and say, hey, well, you give us this pick and give us this player, and we'll give you this guy. And you'll think, oh, dang, he's a good player. But at the same time, he got this huge contract left. So it's like, oh, they're trying to dump off because they're trying to make moves possibly. And it's like, you see what I'm saying? MLB, you can manipulate and just say, oh, I'll give you 3 prospects. Give me Bryce Harper. Oh, deal done. Like, really? So that's the thing. Like, he told me that off top. I'm like, dang, see, I'm not the super duper mega baseball guy. I'm not the ultra hardcore baseball dude. So to me, MLB The Show, like you said with NHL, we're gonna be like, yo, this is hot. But to the hardcore ones, they're like, man, there's so much wrong here. You know what I mean? So, but as far as MLB and 2K, it's I gotta give it to 2K in that regard, man. And then look,
Yeah,
I'll just say this a little bit here on the player cards, individual training, right? And it's like they made the interfaces a bit simpler. They're similar to what they've normally been, but they made it a little bit simpler to navigate through. And they said, now when you look at individual trading, now it's easier than ever to choose a player's ideal skill training focus. It affects all individual training and will help make sure that a player's attributes grow in that direction over time. A player's fatigue, injury risk, and load management are all visible in the spreadsheet now. As such, it's easier than ever to help guide my NBA fans into knowing the state of the roster and figure out the ideal training path for all players on the team. Come on, dog. These dudes got it, man. They got it. And once again, man, there's even more. And they did add 3 more of those expansion teams into the game too. So you got that if you want to throw them into the game, into your league, you could do that. So like this is
it's so funny how it used to be a time when I used to get mad that 2K didn't show anything early. But 2K is a living testament. And again, I am not sitting here saying the gameplay is great, because let me tell you something. When that game come out tonight or whatever, go watch Twitter. Go look at YouTube. It's going to be people killing it. Because there's diehard 2K people that would say, nah, this ain't right. This ain't right. And even when me and Smitty play, offline, I don't play online. I don't really do pro-am and none of that, but when we play it from like a sim standpoint, we have a good experience, but we be noticing, this ain't right. Oh, that was a sequence. Oh man, ball integrity, tangibility. It's stuff that's gonna be in the game, I'm sure. Maybe they fixed a lot of it. I don't know. We'll see. But like I said, man, if you are a gamer, you gotta like something. You gotta accept these games with their flaws, because none of them are perfect. The thing with Madden is, I don't think it's so much that we hate Madden. It's just that we hate how it's currently represented, and certain things continue to surface. Like I just don't understand at the moment why coverage is every year. Like I think I do understand, but I think that's one of them things that I feel like they got to redo, man. I think that's the only reason why we continue to get these patches and stuff every year, is because that at the ground level of coverage, it's got to be something that they just can't do unless they really focus on it. But man, the reason why I'm never really mad no more about 2K not showing anything, what do I always say? Even when Madden trailers come out, what do I always say? It's a trailer. Don't mean nothing until I see the game in action, play the game. And that's how I feel about 2K. So I don't really need to see it 4 months ago, 3 months ago, even 2 months ago, even 4 weeks ago. I don't need to see it. When it comes out, if I'm not sure I want to buy it, I'll watch people play, people that I trust, and then. But to me, I don't need to, I guess I don't need to have Twitter conversation for months about, it looks, because you saw it already, Smitty. I mean, when they showed the little trailer, people was already saying it looks the same. And dog, I still don't know what people expect to see from year to year, like just visually from a trailer. It ain't gonna look that different.
Right.
It's impossible. It's not going to be like they just made this completely different from 21 to 22. No, but you're going to start seeing the nuances when you play it or when you go on the replay, and you might be like, oh, visually, they did, because even they did it with Madden. I gotta admit, there was some improvement in 22 visually that I didn't really realize until I looked at the comparison. I said, oh yeah, he looks a lot better in this. Wow, graphics are a little more. So you can't see that from an initial trailer.
Right.
So
right.
I say all that to say I don't need to see the game early. When it comes out, it comes out.
Let's see. The other thing too is like what some people are saying in the chat here. It's mainly about my player complaints.
My player.
People want to see crossovers. They want to see how the shot meter looks. They want to see step backs. They want to see spins. Like I've seen somebody post up a clip of showcasing head-to-head gameplay 1v1 and how guys are playing defense. And it's like, yeah, guys don't know. And even Mindframe, shout out to my man Music Mindframe. You know, like he was saying, like, man, I want to see clips of guys playing defense. And I told him, like, that's the problem. The bulk of these people that are playing this game, my player basically, do not play defense. They don't know how to play defense. They're all about greening shots and dunking on people and throwing sweet passes, but they don't know how to play legit defense because making a defender is not the sophisticated thing to do. So when I see people play and they look out of sorts playing defense, I'm like, yeah, it doesn't surprise me because they made it the marquee thing in their gameplay blog about playing defense, but these dudes don't know how to play it, basically. You know what I'm saying? They try to get by with saying, well, I'll invest a little bit on defense, but I'm going to max out on offense. Okay, now if they swing the pendulum around and you have to actually invest in defense, if you actually have to learn how to play it, that's what's up. I'm happy about that. But we got to see, you know what I mean? And, you know, so it just really depends, you know what I mean? But yeah, and the one other thing I want to say, because some people are saying it in the chat section, especially after I read those, you know, those portions of the blog there. People do not get extremely overly elated about what's happening with this 2K football game. Curb y'all expectations.
No, let them do
Please
it.
curb those expectations, because I'm telling you guys, no, it's all gone, DJ. All gone. If you guys don't curb those expectations and y'all jump over the ledge and be like, man, this is gonna be it. Y'all got to chill with all that, because this game may not be what you want. Okay, it may not be. It may be this arcade game that's not what you thought it was going to be, and then you're going to be upset at the end of the day. So just be mindful. The game's not coming out till next year, because it couldn't come out this year because they wanted to drop it like November, December, something like that, and the NFL wasn't going to allow that. So that's why you're not seeing the game this year. Hey, shh, I'm talking. Hold on now. Just wait. But it's not going to happen like that. So just, you know, please curb the expectation. I'm just saying, I want people to be careful with doing that, because then people going to jack themselves up, getting hyped and be like, oh man, it's going to be this way. Calm down now on that. So just be careful with that. That's all I'm saying. I hope the best for it.
Me too.
We want it to be a good representation now, even if it can't be quote unquote sim, but we'll see. So
what was Dak doing on that play? Y'all watching that? Throw the ball away, man. See, I told y'all I'm a football fan, so even though it ain't my Steelers playing, I get mad at any players that do something silly. Look at this. Let me just look at this again. I know everybody's covered, but dog, throw the ball away. You driving, got 50-something seconds left in the half. Throw it away. Where you, Dak? Where you going? Okay, then you just scrambled up the middle. But yeah, man. And Antonio, it could very well be that. Listen, I want people to remember the emphasis that the NFL and EA and 2K have put on that 2K game. All three of them have said that it's a non-simulation style game. So you got to temper your expectations. Like I said, I think the best situation for it to be is a game that's built off of my player, right? And maybe you have some type of situation where you could play, maybe not the park, but it'll be the field, right? And it's an open is now where you can go out and play team play or something like that. You know what I'm saying? That would, to me, would be the best bet. And let it be that. And then this is what you do. The gameplay would be authentic. Let me see what Dak doing right here. Third and 32. Yeah. So the best case scenario is, you have like a team play situation with a created my player. And the gameplay will be authentic gameplay. Nobody ever said that you couldn't have authentic gameplay. Remember, here's the key thing. How they classify simulation is basically 11 on 11 style football with maybe a franchise mode or something like that. Because remember what they keep saying, EA has the simulation NFL license, and most of us would say it's not fully an authentic gameplay experience. So the word simulation, as far as, and just my opinion, the simulation moniker shouldn't prevent you from making authentic game, right? And I think it's going to be something like that. I think anything less than that would not be successful for 2K. Because if you're 2K, and they probably would have to be careful even with that, even make it in a my career type thing. Because honestly, now that I think about it, they'd have to be careful with it. So they definitely couldn't do like a 11 on 11 full of my players, because then that would kind of turn into a simulation style. But I think the best bet for them, where they can get the best of both worlds, is if they go with some my career style, create a play, my player style. You create your player, you're able to go out in the field, and I'm gonna just call it that, my field or whatever. And you can play team play, 3-on-3, 4-on-4, 5-on-5, something like that. I think that would be a good middle or a good medium for guys who are looking for somewhat simulation football and not NBA playground style. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't want that. I don't want a NBA playground or even like a KO superstar with all the wild, stupid. I don't want that. So I am a little nervous as far as what they're going to consider as a non-simulation. So
yeah, the thing is, the game has to make an impact. See, like I had said on Twitter, a little over a week and some change ago, I'm like, at the end of the day, the consumer has to make EA care about them making changes in order for that to happen. The way to do that is, like, let's say Madden 23 comes out and they do basically, like, let's say they come out flat with a launch like this. Now, if 2K comes with their game and their game is legit, and even though it may not be quote unquote sim, it technically by law doesn't fit that, so they can put the game out there. They can take some steam away from EA potentially. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, even if they have microtransactions in it, if it's a legit playing game that really will have people excited and be like, yo, these guys play like their counterparts, unlike this EA title, you know what I mean? And which EA, their players don't play differently, other than the fact that they slap an ability on them, or a superstar thing on them. They're not truly playing different like that. They don't play different. They don't move differently or anything like that. So that can go a mighty long way in 2K's favor. So it just really depends. And that would be EA putting their foot in their mouth. And then now 2K could do something where, and I mean, it may not necessarily be a year one success, but I mean, it may take them 2 years, something like that, or whatever, where the NFL acknowledges what they did and be like, hey, yo, Look what these dudes did. And we're going to open it up and let these dudes make simulation games too. You think EA going to topple the NFL? No way. So at the end of the day, the NFL holds the cards. It's like I had said a while back about Massive, the company, or Ubisoft, basically, making a Star Wars open world game when EA were the ones with the exclusive licensing. But EA dropped the ball and put the foot in their mouth on 2 games. Like you can't. Star Wars Battlefront 2 with all the loot boxing and the hard grinding in order to advance and level up. And then you had that Star Wars, what was it, Battle Squadrons or whatever? Like that game didn't do particularly well. So it's like for you to want exclusivity and then you still drop the ball. They're like, oh no, we're gonna let these dudes do it. You see what I'm saying? So it's the same thing. And then EA jumped online and said, hey, we still got some games to drop. It's just like when 2K signed their deals for the players and the teams, and EA jumped on, hey, remember guys, we're the ones that can make simulations. So it's like they made the exact same actions in 2 different instances. So if 2K comes with something, they could possibly that could possibly be their way in, but it heavily relies upon what kind of game we're going to see and experience. That's it. That's why I'm not saying anything, because like if the game isn't something I can get into, I'm not supporting it at all. Like flat out. I'm not even gonna act like I'm gonna support it and be like, oh, at least get it to just for what? It's got to be worthwhile. So that's why I don't want to see people get overly hyped, so
overly hyped. And the thing is, guys, man, I hate to be like Debbie Downer, but just trying to keep it real, right? I have zero confidence that regardless of what game they make, the NFL opens the license, because here's my only reason why. I could be wrong. The NFL know who 2K is. The NFL had a deal with 2K. The NFL knows why they stopped dealing with 2K with the simulation aspect. The NFL, I'm sure, is fully aware of this product they make that's called NBA 2K that sells quite a lot of copies. Very popular. Looks like a very in-depth type of game. So I'm pretty sure the NFL knows what they could do if they had a football game. But the fact that they went into business with them and they agreed that it would be non-simulation, I just don't see them doing anything that's going to make the NFL automatically say, wait, maybe we. I mean, for what reason? It's not like they're upset with EA. You know what I mean? It's like they are making money. I just don't, and I hope so. I hope the same as what Smitty is saying. But I'm just trying to look at it from a business standpoint. Like, what sense does it make for the NFL to say, let's do a trial run? We'll let them do a little They don't need to do that. They know who 2K is. 2K is a giant in the gaming world. They are another giant because of their basketball product. It's not like they some up and coming. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only reason, guys, why I'm not optimistic about them opening the license, because of the game that they make. Now, maybe from this standpoint, maybe they said, all right, we're going to let y'all get back in. We'll give you the little arcade, and, we'll see if y'all turn out to make some real money for us. Maybe you've paid off your debt and we will allow you to go ahead and maybe that happens. Now, maybe that happens, but I don't think it's literally them waiting to see what type of game they're capable of producing that would change their mind. I don't see that. But we'll see. I mean, I hope we're wrong, man. I really do hope I'm wrong with that. Too. It's just it really just goes to the theme of what Smitty said. Just lower your expectations, man. Don't think that this is going to be this out of the world experience and it's going to be the Madden killer. It's not. Even at this point, if 2K made a full-blown simulation game, let me tell you something. It wouldn't kill Madden. Madden's too big right now. Let's not forget the millions of people who buy Madden and love it as is. It would just basically be there's 2 football offerings. And hopefully what would happen is we'll eventually get back to a Madden 05 and 2K5 conversation where we're looking at both of these games and like, yo, these are both really good games. I like this one because of this. I like this one because of that. That's what I would love to have now. But I don't know, man. I just hope 2K gets whatever game they are able to make off the ground and they do deliver something nice. And like you said, Smitty, just hope it's something that would at least make EA raise their eyebrow. Like, yo, why are people over there paying attention to that? All right, let's bury these guys. Like let's get that competitive juice going.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
so,
Yep. So
yeah.
But I know we ran over a little bit. Yeah,
I guess we'll go ahead and shut her down, man, just in time. I watched the second half of this. This looked like a good one. Pretty good game here, man. And good luck to everyone's team, man. Unless if you're a Bills fan, then can't say nothing to you guys. But hope everyone enjoys a nice weekend, enjoy some football.
Mm-hmm.
Be safe out there.
Yeah.
And that's it. Thank you guys for coming through. And we shall catch you guys again next Thursday. And once again, stay safe, guys. Be blessed. Have a good night.
Right. Peace.